over, buddy. Here you go.
The legend.
The star. Get in the middle.
The star of the show. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too.
Good
What
to
have you
see
been
you.
up to?
Well, I've been looking forward to talk to you. That's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
No, I've just come back from a few dates with the Rumours of Fleetwood Mac. You know that who you're clearly aware of because your dad played with them for years and you played with them.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I've just been doing some shows with them, and fortunately that's just paused for a month, and it works out perfectly that I get a chance to play with you and the Classic Double doing these doing this Eurythmics Tears for Fears night.
Yeah, and what a pleasure it is to have you.
Mate, you haven't heard me yet.
I have.
No, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it will
Really,
be. Yeah.
it's going to be really
I'm
good.
really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am.
And
Thanks.
obviously happy that you're doing it because you played with Annie Lennox,
I
which
did.
is
Yeah,
an amazing thing.
it is.
Yeah.
It is and was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be lovely for me to revisit all that material.
Yeah,
So, as you know, so many great songs.
yeah, brilliant.
And I was so fortunate to watch you guys play this same show maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I was in the audience, and it was great to see you doing that, and obviously see Adam on drums. So the fact that he can't make it this time is yay.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah,
Alan.
happy.
Yeah, so that's going to be really good. Looking forward to that, mate.
Well, funnily enough, in the past there was always times where we needed a drum, and I thought, I wonder if Steve would do it. And then I just thought you would like with doing stuff, so
Yeah.
I didn't ask, but I'm glad I did this time.
Well, I guess there's certain times in life where maybe you just wait for things to align, and it was the right thing to do. I mean, and maybe the association with Annie made you think of me and all that. So
Yeah,
no, it'd be really good to revisit that stuff, and I'm a big Tears for Fears fan as well, so that'll be really nice to do that.
when did you play with Annie Lennox? When was that?
2003, we did like a tour of America and Europe and the UK, which is great fun to do. And then the following year, we did a tour of we did like 60 or 70 shows in North America.
Wow.
With Sting. She wasn't set to tour that year. I think Sting was a friend of hers, and he was on his own tour at the time. And I think they came up with they wanted to do like a special guest.
Yeah.
And he asked Annie, and thankfully she said yes. So we went on tour with her opening for him.
Wow.
Which is just a dream.
It's incredible.
It really was.
Yeah.
To play with her for an hour, grab a beer and go out front and watch him every night. It was just a dream come true.
Yeah. Who was playing drums with Sting then?
At that time it was Keith Carlock.
Oh right, yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you know, he had a great band with Jason Rebello who was on keyboards, and Dominic Miller. And Sting obviously was on bass. A guy called Kipper on keys, and he was producing him. It was great. And then I did some more stuff with Annie in 2005. We did Live 8 at Hyde Park, which is a big old thing to do.
Yeah.
And arguably the biggest kind of audience I've ever played to. It was maybe 200,000.
What was the actual worldwide audience on the TV?
I don't know. I didn't have to think of that, but it was a lot of people watching.
It was about 1 billion, isn't it?
Yeah. And I thought to myself, this is probably the one where you really want to nail it, because someone will be watching. And it was a great thing to do. And she went down a storm. You know, she's, you know what Annie's like. She's very emotive, and she really taps into, you know, especially events like that. I think Annie's the perfect kind of person for that. So that was great. That was in 2005, and again we did a tour with her in 2007 in America for this album that she had out called Songs of Mass Destruction. And then I think the last things I did with her was in 2012. She had an album out called a Christmas Cornucopia, which was a Christmas album with kind of old school kind of Christmas lullabies and songs, but really twisted and done in quite a dark kind of soulful way that clearly anything Annie touches becomes that kind of melancholic thing. And so I did some promo kind of stuff with that. But I feel really lucky in my life that I've played with her and met her, and she's a lovely lady and phenomenal, and all the things you could hope that someone like that would be.
How was your first meeting with her?
It was funny. Well, not funny. There was sort of something funny happened, but my friend Mike Stevens, who's a musical director who I'd met up here earlier in Liverpool on another work situation, he got the call to put a band together for her, and there was no audition, no playing audition, but she wanted to meet people. You know, she wanted to at least meet I guess someone like her who's been around a long time. She wants to make sure that she feels there's a vibe or whatever. So me and Mike went to her house, just walked into her house. I couldn't believe I was in Annie Lennox's house in London, and you know, made a cup of tea or coffee, and we went into like a back room, and we listened to several tracks off her at the time unreleased new album. This was in 2003, and she played me these songs which were really great, and it was really great to hear that stuff, you know. It was kind of weird to be, it was surreal to be in Annie Lennox's house, listen to unreleased Annie Lennox material with her, I guess, in the corner of her eye. I didn't really look at her, but looking at me for my response to her music, it was like, this is insane. But she's so nice and so warm, and I felt very, very relaxed straight away with her. I did think of something the other day which was kind of funny, that when you occasionally if you go around to someone's house and when you arrive they might leave out a few nibbles, for guests, some crisps or nuts or whatever, and as I walked in I didn't fully look, but I seem to remember there being some food. I sort of remember seeing a few plates of food on the table in the kitchen when we went through to this kind of music listening room, but I didn't touch anything. And on the way out, after having the meeting and listening to the stuff, and she says, "Well, Mike will be in touch, and it's nice to meet you." And I didn't know how it had gone, because you don't know, do you, until you. And then she said, and she pointed to the table that I thought was the party food or whatever for us. She said, "This is my daughter's school science experiment to see how long certain foods take to go off." Oh, really? So good job I didn't pick anything up, because it was like certain. It's kind of random, but it's funny what things you remember.
6-week-old chicken nuggets.
Basically, yeah, which was obviously fine. Yeah. But so that's how I met her, just in her house, and then fortunately, and thank the gig gods that that she liked me and ended up getting the job. She's
written some amazing songs. It's so good to play, aren't they?
They are.
You think of the scope of the stuff she's done, her and Dave Stewart, the Eurythmics stuff as well. Yeah, she has unique talent.
Yeah. Have you got a particular favourite or any that really touch you that you like to play on?
For me, there was the album with Stone on My Side, Missionary Man.
Yeah.
Right By Your Side, There Must Be an Angel, that kind of era stuff.
Great songs.
Yeah, but with Annie Lennox solo stuff, I do love like Little Bird.
Yeah.
And
we're doing that, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing that. We didn't do it last time, and you suggested we do it. Yeah.
Well, it was one of them songs that, as we know, when things get recorded in the studio, it might be more programmed based rather than live musicianship. And I think when she recorded it, it was maybe early 90s. So, but when we rehearsed it for her tour, when we first all met and played with her in 2003, it was one of them songs that really quickly came together quite organically with the band. And I'm not saying it sounds like them, but kind of almost kind of in a Rolling Stonesy kind of rock and roll kind of, and it really translated well to being played like that. So I think we're gonna potentially kind of go with it in that way. But no, that's one of my favourite songs of hers. But I love Why is such a great song, isn't it? It's just, I think. I'm certainly not quoting Annie, but I seem to remember talking to her once about, songs and her favourites and stuff. And I think I've heard her talk about this in interviews since, that she feels that one of the songs that really says what the Eurythmics is Here Comes the Rain Again. She really likes that song.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's got a real kind of melancholy sort of vibe. But yeah, so she's great. And then Tears for Fears, man, we're doing that stuff as well. Yeah. Another great band.
Can't wait, I love her. love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite Tears for Fears song?
Yeah.
Have you?
Head Over Heels.
Yeah.
What a song.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah.
It might be in my top 10 of just favourite song. I mean, I've never played it. And clearly I've jumped at the chance to play with you all because of the Annie situation.
Yeah.
But really, I'm very excited to do the Tears for Fears stuff because I've never had the opportunity to. But especially with Ian and Trisha,
Ian Morley, Trisha McTeague, the singers, yeah.
And then George. What's George's surname?
George Weston.
Yeah, he does Kurt stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I think, like when I saw you last time, clearly the music was fantastic, but I was really impressed with all the singing and the amount of work you all put into it. So
I think we're just lucky in Liverpool, especially over in Merseyside and around this area, because we've had people come and play with us from all over, really. Bristol, a couple of people from Bristol, and they come up from London, but mainly around Liverpool. There's just a wealth of talent, talented people, and people who are dedicated really to music, and understand that it's not just it's not a fashion statement. It's a way of life, and it's important.
It's really important.
I think it's
and the thing that you've clearly kind of you and the band doing these classic double shows is such a great thing that you get to celebrate, if for a better word, all these different bands and artists that you've been doing these shows. It's kind of like putting on different hats every one you do, and like tonight, Matthew.
I'm almost schizophrenic.
That's I think music chameleons. I mean, you have to change your spots. Even though we're kind of comedians, aren't we? Or we think we are.
Yeah.
But it is great to put on different hats for different styles of music and try and do it justice. And which you and the doubles definitely do.
Well, it must be like that now. You're doing the Rumours, the Fleetwood Mac stuff, because Mick Fleetwood is so singular, isn't he? And his
he's a really original drummer.
Yeah.
I've had to really, so we know each other basically, don't we? Like I know I met your mum and dad years ago to do with the Adlib Audio Christmas parties. I'm kind of backtracking, but I'm thinking while we're talking that your dad played with the Rumours for the longest time, and kindly looked after my mum and dad over the years in Norwich to let them go and see the show. So I feel kind of full circle that I've been doing some shows recently for our mutual friend Cos, the drummer, Alan Cosgrove, who's done nearly every show they've done, but he's having a bit of a breather. But going back to your point about Mick Fleetwood, trying to put his kind of drumming hat on is interesting. Again, they're a band that I've always listened to and loved, but maybe as a drummer I'd never really focused on Mick Fleetwood. But he's really quite he's very individual as a drummer, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
And I've been listening to his audio book about his life, and he speaks quite honestly about it, saying how he was kind of insecure maybe at times with his drumming, and he's almost just feeling that he's not a proper drummer, but maybe not traditional in the way he plays. But that's created this individual style, isn't it?
Yeah.
But great songs.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And he plays for the song, and that's anyone who writes songs who's got a band. All you want from the people in the band is to play for the song, right, and not play for themselves.
I think you hear that more and more these days, but I think people are generally interested in serving the song, and while it's great to be able to do certain things on your instrument, the song should dictate how we play, and that's what we try and do, isn't it, every time we play, I think.
How old were you when you moved to Liverpool?
I moved there in 94. I think I was 23. Yeah. So I moved up here to join. I saw an advert in the NME, or the Melody Maker newspaper, and I was kind of in Norwich, a place that I'm from. Love it there. Was in great different bands there, covers bands, original bands. Played summer season shows, talent shows when I was a kid. But I just felt I needed to progress. And not that I couldn't progress in Norwich, but I think something in me felt I needed to leave Norwich. And I was thinking, like a lot of people, I need to move to London, but then this Liverpool audition for Bullyrag came up, and I got that, and within a few weeks I'd got the job, and I moved to Liverpool. And
did they have a deal then?
Well, that's quite funny. So the advert I remember the advert in the NME.
Signed band.
It said band wants drummer. It said Funkadelic meets Rage Against the Machine, who I like both of those bands. It said must be committed and happy. And I thought, well, if they sound like Rage Against the Machine meets Funkadelic, I'm definitely going to commit and be happy, because that's the type of thing I was into at the time. I loved heavy guitars with like funky, and I loved the rap rock kind of thing that was happening in the 90s, you know, bands like, I know they became more melodic as the years went on, but early Chili Peppers and Fishbone and bands like that, Jane's Addiction, I loved that alternative rock rap stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So Bullyrag were like, to me, a scarce version of these bands that I loved. The advert, so it said deal waiting, which is kind of clever wording, because I thought either said deal waiting or deal imminent. And a year later, a year later, we were still waiting, but we did get a record deal. We got signed to Mercury, Polygram, and we made an album, and it was a great, experience. But by 2000, the band had been kind of let go by Mercury. There'd been like a change of the way things were working there, and I guess they didn't see us as part of their future.
There was a bit of a spate of bands, especially in Liverpool, getting signed round that time, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was a big scene going on with Cecil and Gluebound. And
well, we shared a rehearsal room with Cast.
Did you?
Also known as Cast, but I can't say it properly. So and they got signed and like really went kind of sort of stratospheric, and they're kind of playing again now, aren't they? They're touring and supporting Oasis. I actually saw them late last year. It was really nice. I saw them in Sort rehearsal room. It was good to see the lads, and they seemed really happy. So there was a spell. You're right. I remember Cecil getting signed. There was some good bands around. I really loved, when I moved up here, it felt like it was happening here. Yeah. Which, let's face it, Liverpool is a great musical city, isn't it?
I think there are a lot of people, I mean, I've been in bands with a lot of people who've moved here just because they've been a musician in a town somewhere and thought the only place to go to form a band or to get in a band or to play music is Liverpool, and they make a beeline here, and to be honest, they are a lot of what makes up the people here, especially with LIFA as well. A lot of LIFA students leave college and stay here. So the diversity in the music scene in Liverpool now is huge, and it's fed by that. It's fed by the past.
Yeah.
Obviously the Beatles stuff and all that, the Mersey beat, and it being associated with it, especially, and you got the 80s, Bunny Man, Teardrops Explode, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
I saw Holly Johnson in town.
Did you?
About a month or 2 months ago, and I think I found out he may have been guesting with, did The Farm play recently in town? Maybe it might have been The Farm.
Sure, maybe.
I couldn't believe it, because my son had just got a taxi home. We were in town together, and he was going back home. I popped him in the taxi to make sure he was safe and all that, and then I was just walking in town. It was kind of getting dark, and then just Holly Johnson was there, and I was like, and I really wanted to say something to him, but I was thinking, no, he's just Holly from Liverpool, in Liverpool, being Holly from Liverpool, and I didn't want to be that guy. But it wasn't so much, I wasn't going to say to him, hey mate, can you sign this type of situation. It was more that my late dad went to see them in Norwich at a nightclub. They were doing a thing for like Radio 1 or for BBC 1. It was a playback show, so they were miming. But I'd gone in for a competition in a local paper. Must have been like, ask the question, you had to tick which one you thought was and I actually won, but I was too young to go. So my dad went on my behalf because he was older than me. He was made up. And my dad, being really into music, was kind of made up.
Was a fan anyway?
Yeah. And I got a great photograph of him with the Frankie Goes to Hollywood band.
Wow.
And all the other competition winners.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to tell Holly that, but I didn't want to bother him. But yeah, you're right. There was there's been so many great bands
Well,
there.
funny
over the
enough,
years.
Nasher was my old neighbour.
Was he?
Yeah, I used to live down Waterloo Dock, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got to know him quite well, and yeah, he's a good guy. He's a celebrant now.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
his funerals. So, you want your
The
funerals?
Power of Love, eh?
The
Sorry.
Power of Love.
What a tune.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I'm so glad I moved up here, you know what I mean, for many reasons, because it's led me to my wife, and we have a son, and
Your son's a Scouser.
my son's a Scouser, little Charlie, and yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of where I'm from, but I think moving to Liverpool was the right thing to do in my life. And funny, I've not played with a ton of bands from here, probably only because since the Bullywag thing, and I accidentally, on purpose, started to get involved in session stuff, which happened to be via London. Yeah, I lived up here. I guess I didn't play with as many Liverpool-based bands.
Yeah,
I've done a few things over the years. I did an album with Ian McNabb.
Oh, yeah.
And a band called Size of Barker. Do you remember
I
them?
remember Size of
Do you remember
Barker,
Carl Brown
Yeah, yeah.
and Tim?
Is Maria in them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she does some
Maria
classic
does
stuff.
Blondie with us. She's
Right.
Debbie Harry.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll see you next week then, because I'm
Yeah,
going to go and see.
22nd of May, Shakespeare North,
Yeah.
Prescott.
That'd be nice to see her. I probably haven't seen her since I did that.
Right.
That's
Wow.
been a while.
It is a small, it's a bit of a village, Liverpool.
It is,
Everyone knows
yeah.
everyone.
So, but no, I love it here, mate. And as I said, this opportunity that's come up that you've asked me to do, I'm really looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah. So what happened after Bullyrag when they get dropped and then the band disbanded?
Yeah, the band kind of imploded. I think we'd probably reached the point where we weren't going to continue for reasons that don't matter.
Mhm.
You know, I think sometimes a sort of a band has its kind of lifeline, and we were done, you know, with that. But I kind of didn't want to really be in another band. I'd met an old manager of Bullyrag called Martin O'Shea, who you all know,
Yeah.
who at the time was managing a girl group called Atomic Kitten, who you would have heard of.
Mhm.
And they were just sort of on the kind of up, and I think they were just about to get to number one with that song Whole Again.
Yeah.
And I just knocked on Martin's studio door one day. I said, mate, if you're ever looking for a drummer, I'm kind of not in the band anymore. And he put me forward for the job with them. So that was the thing I did after Bullywag, was Atomic Kitten, for like a year and a half of touring and festivals, which was really a left field turn for me musically. But it taught me a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
Playing with a click, you know, backing track stuff, and being restrained, you know what I mean, for the music and playing what's required.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and not being part of a band feeling or any decisions was quite nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it was
different. There's a different kind of politics that goes on
there is
when it's just
when you're not part of the
free.
decision making. You're just there to do your part, and I really enjoyed it. And I met some good people in that time, including that guy. I can't remember if we mentioned him yet, but this guy Mike Stevens, who's a musical director for so many people. I met him in Liverpool at Crash, rehearsing with Atomic Kitten, and I think initially he'd said to Martin, listen, if you're booking me as the musical director for the job, I kind of bring in my own people, which you would understand, like you do, you know people. But I think, and thanks to Martin for this, that Martin said to Mike, well, we've got a great drummer, we've got a great bass player and a keyboard player. Why don't you at least check them out? If they're not to your standard, then by all means swap them out for your people. But Mike did sort of check us out, and he did fortunately like our playing, and so it was good that
kept
Martin.
all three of them.
He did. Yeah,
That's good.
do you know Pemo? A bass player called Pemo, Gordon Pemberton. He was the bass player, and then a keyboard player called Kieran Bell. Have you heard of Kieran? He lives over the water. He works with Ian McNabb. Then there was a bunch of London musicians who were great. So yeah, that's basically what I did after that, and it sort of gradually led me to do different things, you know, over the years. Whatever will come along.
What was next after that?
After Atomic Kitten was a major left turn, that a producer I'd met while I was in Bullywag phoned me to say, mate, I know you said you were looking for sessions. I've got an album project coming up which I think you'd be ideal for. And I just presumed he'd be talking about some new artist that he was working with. But he says, you remember I worked with Jeff Beck, he said, a couple of years ago. And I said, oh yeah, amazing, I really loved that album. He says, well, I'm doing his next album. I was like, wow. And he says, I'd like you to be the drummer for it. I was like, you kidding me?
Wow.
So I got the opportunity in 2003 to record with Jeff Beck in London for his. There was an album that he released called Jeff, and I'm on 6 songs on that.
Wow.
I was just made up to meet the guy. I'd seen him years before on the Guitar Shop tour in Birmingham, watching him and Terry Bozzio and Tony Hymas. So to meet him was just great.
He is the best, isn't he? He's the best. He's
he
the
really
guitarist.
He is.
My favourite.
He's more. I mean, he's a guitar player, or was a guitar player. Bless him. But there was something about his playing that was so lyrical, and you could be hearing an instrumental, and suddenly realise, hang on, there's no song being sung here, but yet Jeff conveys the lyrical thing that songs do to you. I think he was really good at tapping into that.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to do that after the Atomic Kitten thing, and also while I was working with him, his manager came into the studio one day to say that Jeff has been asked to do these 3 nights at the Royal Festival Hall. He says, do you fancy it, Steve? I was like, mate, I'd love to. Thanks. I'd love to get some tickets and come down. He said, no, we want you to be the house drummer. I was like, me? You got the right Steve. And so I did that. And it was a daunting thing to undertake because, as many of your musician friends and hopefully watchers of this will know, Jeff's had arguably some of the greatest drummers in the world, which I don't consider myself one of those guys. I'm solid and I'm a reliable, good drummer.
You're obviously on that list for a reason, Steve. You know.
Well, I'll take that. But I don't and didn't see myself like that because he had people like Terry Bozzio and Simon Phillips and Vinnie Colaiuta. All these people are just like... Anyway, I did end up doing it, and it was a great... I'm really glad I did it because it was a huge boost for my career. The guy that we mentioned before, Mike Stevens, came to watch me play with Jeff, and without a shadow of a doubt, when Mike got offered the Annie Lennox gig, he thought of me because he'd seen me play with Jeff Beck. So if I hadn't have done it, he may have thought Steve was a cool little pop drummer up in Liverpool doing the Atomic Kitten. He may never put me forward. So I was very lucky that Andy, got me in for that. So I did. It was an album and 3 shows, and I never did anything else more with Jeff because he was always swapping out musicians and drummers. But that was a great time, and a very lucky thing to happen in my life.
Amazing.
Wonderful bloke.
Fortuitous.
Yeah, it was. And then it's just beyond that kind of, I guess, because I've been doing pop stuff, I continued to get kind of gigs with bands in that sort of pop rock world. I did tours with Sugar Babes for 4 years. And again, great songs, you know. A boy band called The Wanted, I did a couple of years with them, and again, I'd never played for a boy band, but that's a whole nother register of screaming that I'd never heard before. Obviously not for me, for them lads. And again, that really, a lot of that pop stuff in the studio might be programmed, drum machines, but when you play it on a live kit, it translates really well. Yeah. And I found I've really enjoyed playing lots of stuff that maybe if I'd heard it on the radio, I wouldn't necessarily associate enjoyment with that music, but yet when you play it and you learn it, I always find some enjoyment in everything musically I've done, really. I kind of did that, and I was also, again via Mike Stevens, got a job with Anastasia, the American singer, who I was with for 14 years, doing lots of touring with her. I've been
14 years?
It was.
Wow.
Yeah, I was with her from 2009 until just after lockdown. So, yeah.
Wow.
She's great. Another really, like Annie, a really strong, powerful singer with an identifiable voice that you hear. As soon as you hear her voice, you know it's Anastasia, so.
Yeah.
Great stuff to play, kind of rock, pop stuff, soulful stuff.
Incredible.
And I was lucky that I sort of managed to stay with her for a long time, And, I've said this in other sort of interviews before. When you're sitting in a scenario like this and someone like you's kind enough to ask me about my life, this sounds like I'm jumping off one tour bus to another and I never stop working and the money rolls in and I'm like... And because I'm talking to you in this type of scenario, that's how it sounds.
Yeah.
And sometimes one tour does lead to the next, but I've had many moments in my self-employed life where things kind of where the phone doesn't ring and I can't land work. But
yeah.
I guess nobody wants to hear that, but it is actually truthful that any freelancer, I think, is if they're honest, you know, there is times where it's a little quiet, and that's when you really have to dig deep with them. You know, keep believing in it all, which I do. You know,
it's where everything goes on eBay.
It is, yeah, it is. Steve Barney's used sticks.
Yeah. So hopefully, Stevie Wonder will see this podcast. Well, hear this podcast, and
I hope so.
Looking for the drummer.
Yeah, man. Give us a call, Stevie. Yeah, I was thinking before, again, about the Tears for Fears stuff that we're going to do. I was lucky enough to see them before I left Norwich to move up here. They played the UEA in Norwich, and I think it was on the Hurting tour, or maybe the Songs from the Big Chair. What a band. So I'm really looking forward to us doing some of those songs, you know, like I said, Head Over Heels, Mother's Talk.
I like Year of the Knife.
That's a good tune.
It's my favourite.
Yeah, I need to learn that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's
Simon Phillips played drums on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you're a big Phil Collins was on that album. You're a big Phil fan, aren't you?
I am.
Big Genesis fan.
Careful, this will be like a 3-hour podcast now.
That's okay.
No, my dad and my uncle took me to see Genesis when I was 9.
Yeah.
So I think anyone at that age seeing a band like that,
so impressionable, aren't you?
Oh man, like a sponge, like. And it was the Duke tour where this song "Turn It On Again" was out. It was a bit of a hit at the time, and Phil was just really coming into his own. And just I remember it so vividly. My uncle had queued up all night to get tickets for it, you know, long before days of Ticketmaster and online thing. He was in Regent Road in Great Yarmouth with a sleeping bag and a bowl of soup, and you know, queuing up all night in the cold for tickets. So when he got the tickets, even as a 9-year-old kid, I could sense and feel like almost that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We got the golden ticket, and then 2 weeks later, there I was, you know. I was probably too young to even be in that theatre, because I don't remember seeing anyone my age there.
Your dad put a fake muzzy on you.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I just distinctly remember, apart from the great show and Phil's drumming and Chester Thompson and the band and the lights and the smoke, I remember the smell of patchouli oil that people used to spray on themselves, like that kind of musky kind of rock smell, whatever, and sticky carpets in the theatre. You know, it's funny that things that...
It was different the old days, wasn't it? It was quite clean.
But no, I was really, and still am, a massive fan of Genesis and Phil Collins. And a nice sort of full circle thing happened to me via a drummer called Gary Wallace, who plays for Mike and the Mechanics, which Mike Rutherford from Genesis is his band. He saw me play, as in Gary Wallace, the drummer, saw me play with Anastasia, and sort of basically got in touch with me saying that he couldn't do an upcoming Mike and the Mechanics tour, and Mike was looking for a drummer to cover Gary, and Gary gave me his blessing and told Mike about me. So I ended up doing a tour with Mike and the Mechanics with Mike Rutherford, which was just amazing. It was a real full circle.
Andrew Roachford singing?
He was. Andrew's a great singer, isn't he? Andrew Roachford.
He's one of my favourites. One of my favourite songwriters, British songwriters. Amazing. That first album.
Yeah.
Just listen to it all that.
Yeah.
Great.
So that was a really nice thing to happen in my life, to be on a tour bus with Mike Rutherford. You know, I never thought I'd... And a really lovely thing happened, and I'm so grateful to Mike for doing this. After the show in London, I told him, the hardest thing about that Mechanics tour was me retaining, not being the fanboy. And a couple of nights, I think, after a wine or two, and Mike's like, "So Steve, you know, how did you get into all this?" I'm like, "Hold on tight, Mike. I'm going to tell you some stuff." And I guess I won't be the first person to tell him how much his band meant to them. But I told him about the story of my dad and me and my uncle going, and my uncle Roger and my dad and my mum came to the London show, and afterwards I was backstage, you know, in the kind of green room having a drink with my dad and my uncle, and Mike Rutherford, I think he must have clocked us. And he came over and he met my dad and my Uncle Roger, and we all had a picture together. And for me, that meant the world, you know what I mean? That that he came and said hi to them, and for them, that was just some sort of kind of full circle, magical moment, you know?
Yeah.
Really nice.
Wow.
Music's special, man, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It is, yeah. It's just, Charlie's playing now, your son.
My son Charlie's playing, he's great. I'm sort of quite self-taught. I did have lessons, but I really struggled to understand reading and notation. And at Charlie's school, they have a great drummer, friend of ours, Roy Martin.
Yeah.
And Roy Martin teaches Charlie.
Oh, right.
And he's also had lessons off Paul Walsham, you know, another great drummer.
Yeah.
So Charlie's been surrounded by proper drummers or proper drum tutors like Paul and Roy. And then me, I can show Charlie more my kind of song approach or whatever. But yeah, I can't write it out for Charlie to understand. But no, he's really enjoying it, and you know, he's fortunately kind of got his head down with school stuff at the moment, because I guess he's probably looked at my career at times and thinking the quieter stuff, hang on a minute, maybe I need something on the back burner. But he's a great drummer. I'm not just saying that because I'm his dad.
I've seen videos of him. He is very solid, isn't he?
Yeah. We'll give it another year. He'll be 18. He'll be able to def Adam on the odd show should you ever need him.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But he's obviously got to be old enough to play in them venues, you know. But
yeah.
I think, like all of us, we've all learned to play, and the way I learned was playing to records. Imagining I was in that band that I was listening to, or looking at the artwork of a live Genesis album, trying to imagine what it'd be like to be there.
Yeah.
But I think, as we know, it's playing with people that really brings out the best in you.
Yeah.
You can practice all you want, just trying to get that bass line right or that drum part right. But when you play with other human beings like we do, that's where the magic happens. You know? So I'm thinking of Charlie here, that while he's had a few opportunities in school to play with bands, you know, I think the more he does that, it'll be really beneficial.
You need to be fed with some. You do need some kind of attention from it, because if you're on your own just playing, there's nobody saying, wow, that was amazing. It's just in your head questioning whether you're any good or not. It's only when you get in front of people and they come up and go, that was brilliant, made me feel this way. And it's a two-way thing, and it gives you something. It goes, right.
It's kind of feeds you, not in an ego way, but it does feed you when people watch you, or whether it be people, like you say, when you play with another musician, and it is connection. I mean, it is a vibration of stuff. It's such a positive thing, music. You know, it's like, I was listening to a podcast before with someone saying that music is so public, clearly, as in we can all access music, but it can also be so personal when we listen to it on our own. It can make us. It could be there for us for the happiest of times. And equally, it could be there for us at the saddest of times, and some sort of comfort, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what I would have been or without music in my life. You know, it's been amazing, mate. You know, and it continues to be. I'm just like you, mate. I'm grateful of every little opportunity I have. Yeah. Especially the one we're doing in a couple of weeks. You know,
which is
29th
of May, yeah.
Camp and Furnace,
Liverpool.
Earth.
Eurythmics and Tears for... Good job, you yeah. Eurythmics, Tears for Fears. We do it every month in there, and we've been doing some in Prescott in the Shakespeare North Theatre. We've got Television Blondie and Talking Heads on the 22nd of May. We've got others coming up in Camp and Furnace doing Steely Dan and the Eagles.
Wow.
That's the week after.
Is it?
6th.
Have you done those ones before?
Done that before, yeah. I've done it a few times.
Steely Dan's one, isn't it? That must be.
Yeah.
That's the Musos gig, that, isn't it? Wow, is it?
I have to follow charts or something. Deacon blues and just like glued to the notes, because it's different chords every day.
And the Eagles, what's another great band, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you obviously do Fleetwood Mac ones as well. You've done Talking Heads. Peter Gabriel, you said, yeah?
Peter Gabriel. Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel do them together.
I missed that one. I think I was away. I would love to see that next time you do that.
It's a special one. Katie, who does Kate Bush, is really brilliant.
Yeah.
Really brilliant. And Ian again, man of 1,000 voices.
Yeah.
He does that with us.
How do you want to wrap it up? Or was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Thanks, Steve.
See, mate. Thank you, mate.
No, thank you.
I'm really, thanks for the opportunity.
Well, you've always been a kind of a name. Like you were saying before, you haven't played in many bands in Liverpool.
No.
I've obviously only really played with bands in Liverpool. And it was like you are a name that's, you've been on those levels, those extra levels of actually like world tours with people and pop stars, and I always thought, it'd be great to play with Steve. You always seem like such a nice guy and a humble fella, and
likewise,
obviously very talented, and I'm made up you're doing this.
Oh, mate. Well,
really
thanks for asking. I think a cliche, but the stars were aligned. Those two bands are bands that I love. Obviously, the Annie stuff is a little bit familiar to me, so I think we'll have a laugh, man. And hopefully, I just hope you won't be disappointed. No, jokes aside, man, it'll be great. And I think if it's anything like the last one you did, people are going to love it, you know?
Yeah.
And I hope Adam has a good holiday.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, nice one, man.
Boss.